De Audiomusica, comunidad del metal, comunidad de la buena música, sean todos bienvenidos. Y en nombre de Ivanes, en nombre de Audiomusica y por supuesto de este ya emblemático Teatro Municipal de Ñuñoa, les doy la bienvenida a esta clínica Ivanes junto a un grande que tuve la oportunidad de almorzar y conocer esta tarde y me contó un montón de cosas re entretenidas. Obviamente ustedes van a tener la oportunidad, ¿cierto?, de hacer sus preguntas, de interactuar con Jake Bowen, que ya está con nosotros acá y va a estar en este escenario en un rato más. Atención, estamos siendo transmitidos vía live Facebook a través de nuestro Facebook de Audiomusica y también a través de YouTube, así que si andan con sus celulares, les ruego que compartan este contenido, porque hay mucha gente que a lo mejor no se ha enterado que este gran personaje, este monstruo de las 7, 8, 9 cuerdas... ¿No se escucha? Wow, voy a tener que gritar. Ahí puede ser Luchito, dame más caña. ¿Ahí se escucha o no? Ya, perfecto. Como les decía, si están con su celular, tienen que ayudarnos a compartir este contenido. Estamos transmitiendo a través de live Facebook y YouTube de Audiomusica a todo el mundo, a toda la globalidad del metal. Y es una buena oportunidad de que aquellos que no conocen a Jake y a lo que ha hecho en el metal moderno, en el gent, lo puedan conocer y también puedan preguntar. Algunas indicaciones, chicos, ¿ya? Como este es interactivo, Jake obviamente va a hablar acerca de su técnica, va a hablar acerca de su carrera, en fin, y ustedes van a poder preguntar. Yo les pediría que ojalá las preguntas sean formuladas en español. Vamos a estar con un traductor acá, con Joaquín Bustamante. Él es partner de todos ustedes. Yo sé que aquí hay muchos guitarristas. Él estudió en Berkeley. Su segunda lengua es el inglés. Qué mejor que un guitarrista que pueda ser el intérprete y la conexión entre vuestras dudas, sus preguntas y el gran Jake Bowen. Como les decía, esta tarde tuve la suerte de almorzar con él y le comenté acerca de cómo se inició en la música y me sorprendió. Porque él es autodidacta. Nada de lecciones de guitarra, nada de cursos, básicamente YouTube y su capacidad de escuchar, de ver, de la pasión que tiene por sus referentes, por Pantera, por Nine Inch Nails y otras grandes bandas, obviamente Mechuga. Y él me decía que lo que más le interesaba era aprender viendo, imitando. Y así se inició muy temprano, a los 12 o 13 años en esto de la guitarra, y luego dijo, bueno, quiero estar más cerca de la música, y comenzó siendo roadie. Y adivinen, vino a nuestro país por ahí por el 2005 con una tremenda banda, Dream Theater. Y curiosamente él era roadie, y roadie, ustedes saben lo que hacen los roadies, están detrás del escenario, ¿cierto? Ayudan al montaje y él estaba a cargo de los teclados. Y así pudo conocer nuestro país y Sudamérica. Se llevó una tremenda impresión. De vuelta a Estados Unidos, dice, yo quiero formar una banda. Y toma contacto con Micha, que es su partner en Periphery. Y se empiezan como a cartear a través del email, qué sé yo. Y se hicieron amigos. Y en el 2007 comienzan esta aventura que ha puesto el gent en Estados Unidos y en la oreja y en el corazón de todos ustedes de una manera muy novedosa. En 2010, ustedes saben, sacan su primer disco, El resto es historia, y obviamente lo va a contar Jake Bowen. ¿Ok? Como les digo, si hacen alguna pregunta, ojalá sea en español para que Joaquín pueda traducir. Bueno, quien quiera hacer el inglés, no hay ningún problema. Vamos a estar con dos bellas chicas, nuestras chicas Audiomusica, que van a estar con los micrófonos y quien levante la mano le va a llegar su micrófono. Ojalá que el micrófono lo pongan bien cercano a la palabra para que el traductor y Jake puedan entender su pregunta. ¿Les parece? ¿Ok? ¿Están listos? Que se escuche, que Jake, el camarín, sienta el cariño y las ganas de venir y dar su clínica. Mucho talento, la verdad, chiquillos. Vamos a quedar impresionados. Hay que dar gracias nuevamente a Ivanes porque nos conecta, nos da la experiencia. Ya estuvo acá Tocina Bassi, también Kiko Laureiro y tantos grandes. Así que un fuerte aplauso para Ivanes y también para Audiomusica. Y antes que se me olvide, octubre es el mes de Ivanes en Audiomusica. Vamos a estar todo el mes promocionando y vamos a hacer el lanzamiento del 2.0 de Ivanes Army Contraataque. Así que atentos a nuestras redes sociales que hay mucha información sobre eso. Bien, sin más preámbulos, quiero dejar con ustedes, me imagino que está por ahí, al gran Jake Bowen.
Hola amigos. Wow, I've never done anything this big except for play shows with Periphery. So thank you all for coming.
Esta es la primera vez que Jake tiene la oportunidad de hacer una clínica con tanta gente. Aparte de tocar con mucha gente con Periphery, como su primera como masterclass de este tamaño.
So, with a show of hands, are there a lot of English speakers in the crowd? All right. All right, cool. Well, don't hesitate, even if you don't speak any English. We have a wonderful translator here, and he's going to help me out today. So let's give him a round of applause. Yeah. Thank you. So, I have a couple of things that I need to do here to kind of get set up and ready to go, but I want to also take this opportunity to thank Audiomusica for bringing me here. Let's give them a round of applause because they put on a great show. Yeah. How many of you guys are guitar players? Yeah, all right, sick, cool. I also need to thank Ibanez because without them, I obviously wouldn't be here too. So give it a round of applause for Ibanez. So while I set up here, I want you guys to think of things you want to ask about, questions, and while I set up and while I play songs, I want you guys thinking of things that you want to know about, like whether it's guitar, whether it's about Periphery, whether it's about my personal life or my dog, or like anything you want to know about. I'm an open book, and please don't hesitate to ask.
Mientras Jake se pone listo su backing track para tocar un par de canciones, ustedes pueden empezar a pensar en preguntas acerca de su técnica, puede ser de guitarra, puede ser teoría musical, pueden hacer preguntas de Periphery, pueden preguntar sobre su vida privada o incluso su perro.
So I'm gonna get tuned up here and just kind of make sure I sound presentable, and I'm just gonna jump right into a song. But think of those questions because after I play, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the song, a little bit about my role in Periphery, but I want to hear from you guys. So the more deep your questions, the better this can be for you all.
Entre canción y canción, él va a hablar un poco de lo que tocó y quizás de lo que va a tocar. Así que piensen bien las preguntas y no tengan miedo a preguntar cosas muy profundas.
Thank you. That song is called The Way the News Goes, and that's off of Periphery 3. How many of you have Periphery 3? Okay, cool. There's still some of you that need to pick that album up.
Tienen que comprar ese disco, Periphery 3.
So you noticed that, or you probably noticed that there was a lot of lead playing for myself in that song. Obviously, there's a lot going on with the guitars. There's the main line, there's the counterpoint, which is what the bass is playing, and I even played the counterpoint at some points in that song. Sorry. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Se dieron cuenta que en realidad, incluso aunque estuviera el backing track que tenía el contrapunto del bajo y las guitarras, también estaba mucho, o sea, gran parte lo que estaba tocando él en vivo.
So I like that song because it gives me a chance to kind of display one of the major lead techniques that we do in Periphery. And normally when you think of lead playing, you think of somebody playing a solo or playing something on a high gain channel on an amp with some delay. But this is a different approach. This is utilizing reverb to kind of make a synthesizer or layering with melody, and it makes it more textural rather than being like a very specific part.
Es una de sus canciones favoritas, más que nada por el hecho de que cuando toca él esta canción, él está usando técnicas que usan todos en la banda para tocar líneas melódicas como los leads que le decimos nosotros. Aparte que él también puede usar muchas texturas distintas, como efectos como delay o reverb, que hace como que tenga distintas capas dentro de lo que él toca.
What makes this really effective is that you don't have to be particularly precise with it, and I think that's also what makes it fun. But if you have a riff and you're trying to add some melodic content to it, if you're trying to play something in the scale of what you're playing, this is a good way to do it because it's really simple. All you need is a reverb effect, whether it's a stomp box or I'm using a preamp called the Axe 8 or Axe Effects. But as long as it has a setting where you can utilize like a hall or a cave or cavern delay on the reverb, then you can get this effect. And the way that you do it is that you put it in front of the amp in your signal chain, and then you turn the mix knob all the way up. So that way there's no dry signal going through your guitar. You're just going to be hearing what comes out of the reverb effect.
Lo entretenido de esto es que para tocar lo que está tocando en realidad, no tienes que ser muy preciso. Lo importante es que poner un reverb bueno, y él está usando, you're using the one from your pedal board, right? Mm-hmm. The reverb. Él está usando el reverb del fractal, del que usa un preamp, y fuera de eso, lo que él busca, what are the setup to use it? Use a cave, what are a cavern, a hall. Y tú puedes usar como los presets que tiene el mismo reverb. Él usa un hall o un cavern para generar esa textura.
So I'm just going to do a little demonstration of what it sounds like on its own so you can hear it, because I'm sure a lot of you can hear the effect and then be able to kind of figure out how you make it. And we use this a lot, and I'm going to get into how we use 3 guitar players in Periphery more as the night goes on, but that's one of the major things that we do, and we all play sections like that depending on the song. So that's just a neat little trick that we do, and I think it sounds pretty good, and you can get pretty creative with it. There's other ways that we use that very same effect, which I'll show you in another song that I'm going to be playing. But right now I want to take some questions. So I hope you've been thinking of things you wanted to ask me. All you got to do is just raise your hand. Oh, I saw a hand shoot up right over here. My man right here. Yeah. Do you have a microphone or something? Like a wireless microphone? It's going to take a minute. I'm having one airdropped.
Aló, ahí está, ya. Buenas, cabros. Bueno, primero que nada, muchas gracias por estar acá. Bueno, la pregunta que te quería hacer es vinculada...
¿Puedes acercar un poco más tú?
La pre... Ya, ¿qué? La pregunta va vinculada a lo que mencionabas respecto del el layering y como el contexto armónico que le hace a la canción. Cuando compones una canción, ¿lo haces pensando en estas capas, en estas líneas melódicas, o primero hacen los riffs, como todo el esqueleto de la canción, y luego le van añadiendo todas estas capas?
He's talking about like the layering that you use for your composing process. How do you approach that? Are you looking more like layers itself, or you look more like a structure then, and then you put like layer over layer?
Maybe I can explain it a bit better in English.
We'll do both. We'll do both. It's okay.
Like, you develop the whole song together first, the riffs, the drums, and then add the layering, or go section by section adding the layers?
Okay, that's a really good question. So I'm just going to repeat the question just in case you didn't hear it, or I'm gonna restructure what you said just a little bit. But he's asking, in what order do we go about adding layering to the songs? And I guess the bigger question is, how do we go about structuring songs, or how we go about building sections? And it usually starts with a guitar riff. So the layering usually is the very last thing that we worry about. So it'll start with a guitar riff. The guitar riff will inform the drum groove, and then we add bass, and then we see what holes can be filled, whether it needs some counterpoint or we want to add a layer, which I'm going to get into later. We also we double track guitars, but we also sometimes add more layers, playing like on an octave pedal on a rhythm track. So there's many ways that we layer. The one that I just showed, the reverb trem-picked one, that's just one way, but that always comes last.
Generalmente lo que hacen en Periphery es lo primero que se compone es el riff de guitarra, y luego de eso lo primero lo en segundo lugar va la batería, y luego empiezan a decidir qué tipo de capas o qué layers van a empezar a poner encima. Generalmente lo que hacen justo después del groove de batería, líneas de control. Okay. Yeah. Y al final van las capas luego como de más lo musical, por así decirlo, más que la composición.
Who's got more questions? Okay, you in the hat, sir. She gave him the microphone. So I'm gonna answer his question first, and then I'm gonna come back to you. Okay? I won't forget. All right. Yeah.
Ok, mi pregunta es...
Un momento, please.
Okay.
Oh, sí. Sorry. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, ya. ¿Cuál fue la inspiración o alguna influencia grande que tuvieron Misha y tú para hacer el disco 4 Seconds Ago?
Which was the big inspiration that you and Misha had to do the record?
The inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's asking about my side project with Misha. How many you guys all know Misha, right? Okay. Yeah. Just checking. Misha's one of my best friends, so I get to be in a band with my best friend.
Es su mejor amigo.
But anyways, the big inspiration was we're big electronic music fans, and about 10 years ago, I was living with Misha when I first joined Periphery, and he heard me in my room writing electronic music, or at least trying to. It sounded awful.
Hace 10 años atrás, él vivía con Misha cuando empezó recién en Periphery, y Misha como que lo escuchó en su cuarto mientras él como trataba de escribir como música electrónica.
And that was the moment that he's like, hey, we should work on an electronic project together. I know you just joined Periphery to play metal, but like we should do this on the side when we get time to do it. And that was kind of how it started. And ever since we had that idea, we had the intention of making an album, but in between that time and now, we send each other electronic bands that we like and ideas that we're working on, and we just kind of we just do a back and forth dialogue until we actually wrote the record, which was last year.
Bueno, Micha le dijo que, aunque él había justo como iniciado en Periphery, le dijo que aún así deberían como tratar de armar un proyecto electrónico. Y entre ese tanto en el que como se tiró la idea y que ellos empezaron a hacer el primer disco, se empezaron a tirar bandas entre ellos, bandas como bandas electrónicas que escuchaban.
I'm going to take one more question and then I'm going to play the next song.
Una más antes del próximo tema.
I'm going to make sure I get some people. Oh wait. I forgot. I almost forgot. I almost forgot. All right. I'm going to take your question and I'll take you in the back, okay? All right.
My question is focused on Periphery. Now that you're writing in P4, what was the approach that you and the guys had to write this album, an inspiration, and what can we expect as huge Periphery fans?
Oh, thank you.
¿Entendieron o...? Okay.
Okay. So Periphery 4 is done being written, and it's the approach wasn't much different than Periphery 3, but because the three of us, me, Mark, and Misha, we're the main writers, we have this really good relationship where it's starting to become very effortless to feed off of each other's playing.
Bueno, aún siguen escribiendo el cuarto álbum, pero la relación que tienen ellos en la manera en que ellos componen es como si fuera casi sin esfuerzo. Entonces como que no están como forzándolo, por así decirlo.
So it's it's kind of cliche to say that like, oh well, the new album that we have coming out, that's our best one. But I really feel like this one is something special. Like I know it's funny, but it's really true. Like normally for me to get into the stuff that we're writing, I need to hear the finished product because it's hard for me to use my imagination sometimes, especially with previous albums. But on this one, I've liked the demo. I thought the demos are just incredible. So,
Bueno, siempre es muy cliché como decir que el próximo álbum que viene de tu banda es el mejor, pero él de verdad cree que este es el mejor porque generalmente a él le cuesta mucho usar la imaginación y prefiere escuchar como el producto final. Y ahora que escuchó los demos que grabaron, está como súper contento.
And a couple little notes about the album that I'll mention. We haven't lost sight of being heavy. There's some of our heaviest stuff we've ever done. We haven't lost sight of being a progressive band. The first song on the record is going to be 15 minutes long. So it's definitely not something you want to like put on to impress your significant other. Like they're going to be bored. But if you like musicianship and that kind of stuff, it's going to be a fun album. And we went to some crazy places too. There's a couple of songs on there that may strike you guys as bizarre or out of place, but we knew that we needed to do something a little bit different, kind of explore other things that we enjoy that we haven't revealed to you guys yet. So expect something a little different, but also expect the thing that if you love Periphery, it's on there, for sure.
Bueno, ellos siempre como han seguido teniendo en consideración el hecho de que ellos se consideran como una banda pesada y una banda progresiva, así que como para demostrar eso también como que el primer track del álbum dura alrededor de 15 minutos, porque no se lo harían poner como a su polola, según él, y aún él cree que aún así hay cosas que van a existir en el nuevo álbum que pueden que ustedes las consideren como bizarras o raras, pero son cosas que quizá ustedes no hayan escuchado de Periferia aún.
Okay, you satisfied with that answer? I could talk about that album all night, so I just want to...
Voy a hablar del disco toda la noche si quieren.
Am I going to play a song from Periphery 4? No, they wouldn't let me. I asked. I asked, but they didn't want my guitar clinic to be the first time people heard new music. So I get it. It makes sense.
Les pidió si podía tocar una canción del álbum, pero dijeron que no.
All right. I'm going to answer one question in the back. I saw a hand go up back there, and then I'm going to play the next song.
Hello, sí, bueno. Hi, I was wondering, how do you deal with? I mean, when it comes to writing, I know that you record the last record in Misha's place. So how did you guys deal with like a group of writers block, and how do you deal with that when you have a very solid idea, and then you just can't write like something to follow it?
Oh, that's a fantastic question.
Should I translate for them?
Yeah.
Bueno, él preguntó que si bien el disco lo escribieron en la casa de Micha, él pregunta cómo Jake trabaja cuando uno como compositor se bloquea.
So the trick is to not force it and to go do something else. Yeah. So a lot of people think, or I shouldn't say a lot of people think this, but I think the natural inclination when you have writer's block is to practice harder or just force your way through the song. But the best thing for us to do is to go to a sporting event or go get some burgers at a bar or go on a hike. Sure. Or, play video games. That's a big one. So while it may seem like we're just goofing off and wasting time, we need to do that so we recharge and we kind of we reset our perspective.
Bueno, generalmente cuando él le pasa eso, prefiere como salir como de ese ambiente, por así decirlo, y es como súper común que el instinto te diga como que tenéis que estudiar más o tenéis que como seguir, tenéis como forzando la composición, que de hecho es lo que no se tiene que hacer. Si como que se enfrenta a un bloqueo, mejor no hacerlo y salir a jugar, no sé, a jugar con tus amigos, ir a comer con tus amigos o ir a un partido de fútbol o jugar PlayStation.
Cool. All right, well, I'm going to play the next song. You guys have been having wonderful questions, and just keep thinking about stuff. And I'm going to get it to as many people as possible. There's a lot of you here, so if I don't get to you, you could just hit me up online or something like that. Okay?
Muy buenas preguntas y sigan pensando y cualquier cosa aún así le pueden como él maneja su página, así que le pueden mandar un mail directamente.
I don't know why I'm tuning again. I just tuned, but I'm a habitual tuner. So I highly recommend being like this because you never know, and you never want to be out of tune. It's not good.
Él siempre afina muy compulsivamente, así que él recomienda siempre estar pendiente de la afinación.
Thank you. That one's called Omega. I didn't want to play the whole thing because there's other songs that I want to play tonight.
Esa canción se llama de Mega y no quiere tocarla entera porque prefiere tocar otras cosas.
And some of you might already know, but that's one of those long ones.
No son las canciones largas que ustedes deberían conocer.
So one of the rhythm tones that I use a lot and that I mentioned a little bit earlier was an octave rhythm tone. So I have an octave effect in front of my amp.
Uno de los efectos que él usa mucho es que generalmente usa una octava arriba sobre su guitarra.
And one of the layering tricks that I mentioned is that we use this rhythm tone to layer over whether sometimes the bass is playing this whatever riff we're going to use the octaver on, or the counterpoint guitar we use the octaver on, and it sounds like this. And it's cool because it gives a little bit more low end to the guitars, and it also makes these riffs that may be buried by the main line or the main rhythm, it makes them pop out more because you're having that extra layer that's emphasizing what's going on the bass line or on the counterpoint.
Bueno, ese es lo que tocó recién, es la técnica que él usa de octavas y generalmente le gusta mucho usarla en la guitarra rítmica y en el contrabajo o en las líneas de contrapunto. Generalmente le gusta mucho usarlo porque hace que las líneas que están como que las tapan las capas de las melodías principales, hacen que estas líneas que están con la octava arriba resalten un poco más.
So, the main reason I'm bringing all this up is because I'm sure a lot of you have bands or a lot of you play in a band that has more than one guitar player, and it's fun to experiment with not always playing the same thing. So if you have sections that you're both playing the rhythm section, both play the same thing, but one guitar player has the octaver on, and it makes it sound much bigger.
Bueno, la razón por la que él menciona esto ahora es porque probablemente muchos de ustedes están en bandas en las que hay más de una guitarra y generalmente las guitarras tocan muchas veces la misma línea. Entonces, usar esta octava arriba es una manera fácil de que estas líneas se destaquen más para que suene como más con más diversidad. I'm sorry, Jake. It's always like a technique, or you use a pedal sometimes.
Oh, it's a pedal.
Yeah,
it's an
usan
effect.
pedal generalmente, no es un tipo de fingering.
Yeah. Any octave pedal will work.
Cualquier pedal que tire una octava arriba te va a funcionar.
All right, so let's take some questions.
Preguntas.
All right, my man right here.
Hi, Jake.
Hello.
First of all, say hi to Taiko for me. I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there he
Cool
is.
tattoo. So my question is more gear related. So I know that having 3 guitars in a band can make it really hard for them to pop out in a mix. So my question was that since all of you have 3 signature guitars, they're all from different brands, you have different pickup brands too. So my question is, was that really something you thought about having different guitar sounds? And, or is it just a coincidence that you like different brands and different pickups?
Okay.
Bueno, él pregunta porque si bien en Periphery tienen 3 guitarras, le está preguntando a Jake por las guitarras que usa. ¿Cómo fue su proceso al pensar eso? Si quería tener distintas guitarras para tener distintos sonidos, o cuál fue su proceso por las cápsulas que está usando.
So it's I'm going to try to answer this question in a little bit of order. So it wasn't planned that we all play different instruments or different brands. We kind of gravitated to the ones that interest us as kids, or just something that we've been used to or playing for a really long time. I've been playing Ibanez guitars since the 90s, so I've just kind of, it's just always the guitar that I've chosen, and I've tried other brands, but I always went back to the Ibanez guitars, and I can't imagine myself not playing them, and I feel like the other guys feel the same way about their respective brands.
En realidad ellos nunca pensaron como en usar distintas guitarras o distintas marcas, porque al final siempre terminaron decantando por usar los modelos y las marcas que ellos usan desde que ellos eran chicos. Jake toca Ibanez desde los 90 y en realidad nunca ha pensado, nunca ha imaginado tocar otro tipo de guitarra o otra marca, y él está seguro que los otros guitarristas de la banda piensan lo mismo.
And it's very important to us, because we know we play different brands and that they all sound different and they all have their own unique signatures. We have to make sure that there is some consistency, and that goes into how we dial in our rhythm tones, or just our tones in general. They all have to be dialed in a certain way. So we generally all use the same Axe-Fx preset, and we build it together. And then we make tweaks that are complementary to each other's playing. But because we are playing live, we need consistency with the tones, and we're basically working with our individual sounds to come up with a more consistent tone. So that way it doesn't sound, it's more cohesive live.
Bueno, cuando ellos tocan en vivo, los tres tienen el mismo preamp, el Axe-Fx de Fractal, y generalmente como que usan el mismo preset incluso, pero con algunos cambios entre ellos, entre los guitarristas. Esa es la idea, porque al final como la manera de variar al final el sonido de la guitarra rítmica en vivo.
So it usually starts by us getting together in like a rehearsal space and setting up our equipment, and then we use the Axe-Fx software with a USB cable plugged in, and then we just start testing tones out, and we're all there together figuring out what it is that we're all going to agree on, because we all have different views of what we think sounds good, but eventually with enough working together we figure out something that works. And we have, I think, 5 basic tones. We have a rhythm tone, we have a tight rhythm tone, which has the noise gate turned up on it more, we have a clean tone, we have a lead tone, and we have a mid-gain tone. I think that's 5.
Generalmente todo parte cuando se juntan a ensayar. Todos conectan el Axe-Fx al software y empiezan a ver cómo ellos tienen como 3 tipos de preset que usan como generalmente. Y después, what are the tones that you use? The preset? Y ellos usan como un preset de guitarra rítmica, una guitarra rítmica pero con un gate que hace que suene como más comprimido, un clean y un lead. Y algo como un mid-gain, como algo como un poco más crunch.
Yeah. All right. More questions. All right. This guy right here.
Huh?
There was another one.
I think they're picking. I don't get to pick who I think they're just
no.
going
Hello?
to people.
Al parecer, for some reason,
they're
because they thought-
preemptively giving
yeah,
the microphone.
because they thought that you pointed at him.
Okay. All right.
I think so.
All right. That's fine.
Um,
I'm sorry. I'll get you in a minute, okay?
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I would like to ask you about the approach that you make when you are writing melodic lines, about the scale. How do you get out of that scale shape box to make it sound like less like a scale and more like music?
Bueno, le pregunta a Jake cuál es como su proceso para escribir líneas melódicas y cuál es la idea detrás para que las líneas suenen más como, en el fondo, líneas, valga la redundancia, y menos como escalas.
So without any formal theory knowledge, we rely on our ear, and it's something that we've trained over many years of just playing the instrument and working together. And I think it's informed by the fact that we listen to a lot of music and we just have a sense about what are common chord changes, what are common lead lines, what obvious patterns people do in popular music or metal. and we try to avoid those. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes the right notes to play are the ones that are more common, but we do try to make things that we consider we try to make interesting note choices, and that's just by using our ear and also paying attention to, you know, what people are playing in just popular music. Because I'm sure you guys have heard plenty of popular music where you're like, oh, I've heard that chord progression a million times, and you know, it's important for us, and it's more rewarding for us to kind of not do that and try to figure out ways around it, because there are. But it's you just have to sit with it and be creative and develop your ear.
Bueno, siendo que él no tiene como ningún tipo de escuela, como formalmente por así decirlo, ellos generalmente confían en su oreja, lo que escuchan, y aún así, siendo que es como súper común escuchar ciertos patrones que suenan en la música popular, ellos tratan de como de no acercarse a eso, pero aún así generalmente esos patrones son los que suenan bien. Aún así, ellos tratan de hacer una elección de notas que sean como las notas que suenen, para que suene más interesante, por así decirlo. Y aún así es como casi inevitable cuando uno escucha una canción popular que esas mismas progresiones se repiten un montón. Y aún así, si ellos no quieren acercarse como tratar de que suene parecido a eso, al final siempre termina mandando la oreja al momento de componer.
Okay, next question. They're already handing out the microphones preemptively to people, so I don't get to pick anymore. So
él prefiere que si él puede elegir las preguntas, por favor.
Hi, Jake.
Hola.
My question is, do you know of, are aware of any Latin American guitar player, for example, Benjamin Lechuga from Chile, and for example, Felix Martin from Venezuela? Bueno. And I have a gift. I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
Bueno, le pregunta Jake si él conoce algún otro guitarrista latinoamericano aparte de Benjamín Lechuga. Y bueno, tiene un regalo, no sé si se lo pueden dar.
Here. Yeah. I am aware of a few Latin American guitar players. I'd say my favorite is Kiko from Megadeth. Thank you. Cool. And I mean, his playing is just it's outlandishly good, and he's a really nice guy. We actually here's a little Kiko story for you. We were at NAMM a couple of years ago, and he was revealing his signature guitar, and I was revealing my signature guitar, and they put us on stage at the same time, and we had never met each other before that point, and I looked at him, and I'm like, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Bueno, uno de sus guitarristas favoritos en realidad es Kiko Loureiro de Megadeth. Él cree que su playing es increíble y cree que además es un muy buen tipo. Y when was this?
2014.
2014. Y en el 2014 ellos se vieron en la NAMM y estaban los dos como revelando su guitarra signature. Y como que esa fue la primera vez que como que se conocieron, y como que uno le pregunta al otro como que qué tenemos que hacer, y el otro dijo no tengo idea.
But you know, Kiko is a pro, and he's been doing this for a really long time. So he went up there and he was a natural. He was just very comfortable, and I was just like really nervous. So I was like trying to take cues from him on how to speak to people. And it's funny because if I had to speak to you guys tonight, I would be much worse. But thank you for your question. All right, I'm going to take one more question, and then I'm going to play the next song.
Bueno, la mayoría como de los tips que le han dado ha sido gracias a Kiko, y en realidad si no fuera por él no sabría cómo hacer este tipo de clínica.
Hi. El último tiempo la industria musical ha cambiado bastante, sobre todo con la irrupción de Spotify y otras plataformas. ¿Cómo le ha afectado a Periphery este cambio en la industria musical y económicamente? Porque Micha lo mencionó en una entrevista hace poco.
He's wondering about like the music industry because it has changed like enormously these last years. And lately with Spotify, everything is kind of like messed up, especially economically speaking. How do you feel about that? Thinking that Micha like recently spoke about this and how he felt.
Okay. The music industry changes every year. Sometimes it changes within a matter of months, and it's a very volatile place. And it's not something I'd recommend getting into if your goal is to make money.
Bueno, la industria musical es demasiado volátil últimamente y casi no saben dónde puede parar. Y les recomienda que en realidad no se metan a la industria de la música si en realidad lo único que quieren hacer es generar plata.
So that's not to say I don't think you should get into it, but I think that you should go into it with the expectation that you're doing it because you love playing music and you love playing with your bandmates and you love writing records. And that's why you're doing it. You're doing it strictly for the art. And it gets more and more difficult to make a career at being a musician every year, even for myself. So, you know, it's a very difficult time. I don't know if it's going to stay like that forever. I think the silver lining is that if you can get your band to a certain level to where you can play shows and tour, maybe even internationally, then I think you have a better chance at making a sustainable living. But it's very difficult to get there, and I don't want to say that there's a surefire way to do it, and it's it's a very difficult time.
I'm sorry, what was the last thing that you said?
I was just saying that there's no really advice that I can give that will help you succeed in the music industry, but do it because you love playing music.
Bueno, obviamente no le está diciendo que no se metan nunca a la industria de la música, pero la idea es que si se van a meter a la música es porque por una razón estrictamente artística, porque les gusta estar tocando con tus amigos, te gusta estar haciendo haciendo discos. Y en realidad ahora, hoy en día, la industria también se le está haciendo súper difícil a él mismo, mantenerse como artista de manera económica.
So I'm going to play the next song, and I just want to mention that I'm changing tunings. And if you're a 6-string player and you don't have a 7-string, this is a cool tuning to use because you're lowering your 6-string down to an A from a C. So you need higher gauge strings, heavier gauge strings, I should say. But it's a fun tuning to play with. So it's A, G, C, F, A, D.
Bueno, él está cambiando afinaciones y generalmente para los que no tienen una guitarra de 7 cuerdas, él recomienda usar esta afinación. What's the tuning again? Mi, sol, do, fa, la y re.
Sounds like this. Okay. Need to fix that. All right. Okay. Um, unfortunately, I don't do requests.
No toma pedidos.
That song is called Remain Indoors, and that's one of my all-time favorite Periphery songs for a couple of reasons. Namely, it's nice and slow, but I also like it because it's one of those songs, we were talking earlier about writer's block and having that breakthrough that kind of brings you to the next section in the song, and that was one of those songs that stayed a certain way for a long time, and then we wanted to work on it so bad, but we knew that we couldn't force it, so we kind of left it alone for a little while, and then we came back, and it was fresh again. So it may have not have made it on the album if we didn't take a break from it, or just give it the space that it needed to kind of come up with ideas for it, or just have a new perspective on it.
Bueno, esa es una de sus canciones favoritas de Periphery, principalmente por dos razones. La primera es porque por lo general la canción es bastante lenta y como tranquila, por así decirlo. Y la segunda razón es porque esa es una de las canciones en la que ellos tuvieron como un bloqueo en la composición, y cuando tuvieron como ese quiebre, cuando salieron como ese bloqueo, fue donde empezaron a salir las secciones del tema. Y si no hubiera sido como por ese quiebre que tuvieron de salir de ese bloqueo, quizás la canción nunca hubiera estado en el álbum.
And I think that it's a good example of a song that we kind of, or at least a good example of how broad our style is, because you guys know us pretty well for doing very complex and very rhythmically interesting and progressive sounding songs, and you don't have the anxiety of playing it live, dense, but I also like that aspect of the band too, because it shows that we're versatile.
What's the first thing?
I was just saying that I enjoy playing this song because it's slower and the riffs have space to breathe.
Bueno, le gusta mucho tocar el tema, más que nada porque las secciones entre sí tienen como les genera como un espacio, por así decirlo, como para poder respirar entre los riffs, y también es un buen ejemplo como del proceso de layering que ellos usan dentro de la banda.
One of the things I want to talk about is my role in Periphery. It's an interesting role because I am one of 3 guitar players, so it's kind of hard to distinguish on like who does what. But the truth is we all do a little bit of everything. When it comes to me, I've added some things to my job. So I play rhythm, I play lead, I play ambient and clean stuff, but I also sing backup vocals. But I don't let my role in the band define what I do in the band. And when I joined this band, I saw an opportunity to teach myself new things outside of music that sort of had to do with how the band is structured and how there are certain jobs that need to get done and things that need to get handled in the group, and I saw an opportunity to learn these things.
You mean like musically speaking, or like?
No, like in addition to that, the business.
Kind of like in the management of the band.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Bueno, él les quería hablar un poco de su rol dentro de la banda, y bueno, dentro de la misma banda él ha podido, como él casi ha hecho todo, ha tocado cosas clean, como cosas más clean, ha tocado los leads, ha cantado las segundas voces, y aún así él cree que Periphery de cierta manera es como un reto en el que él puede como siempre estar como desafiándose a sí mismo para poder aprender más cosas, y así mismo ha podido aprender cosas desde el ámbito como ya más musical, o también como más como del aspecto del business, como el negocio de cómo manejar una banda.
And the other thing that I do is I'm sort of the band's de facto graphic artist. So I do a lot of the artwork. I did the artwork for Periphery 3, and I'm doing the artwork for Periphery 4, which I'm working on right now. But I didn't know that I could do that stuff. That's not something that I ever worked on, that I ever really practiced. I saw a need for it to be done, and I thought, you know what? I could try this. And what I'm getting at is that in your band, in your group, you need to discover hidden talents within yourself, because you all have it. You are all capable of teaching yourself things that you may not think you're capable of. And so think about the roles that need to be filled in the band and see if you can do them, because your band will be that much better when, if you can make art, if you can handle the business, handle the money, handle the management of the band. Think of yourself as a business owner rather than I'm a guitar player or I'm a drummer.
Bueno, una de las partes importantes es que siempre, todos tenemos talentos ocultos, y si tú ves la necesidad de hacer algo en tu banda, la idea es que lo hagas. Por ejemplo, el tercer álbum, él hizo el diseño como de la carátula, él está haciendo el diseño del nuevo disco, y la idea es que no te veas como un músico, no te veas como un guitarrista. La idea es que si crees que puedes ser como el manager de la banda, que lo seas. Si crees que puedes manejar como el dinero que entra y sale de la banda, la idea es que tú lo hagas.
All right, questions. Who's got the microphone? Yeah.
Hello.
Can we get him a microphone at some point? Yeah.
Dele el micrófono a él, por favor.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the writing process. I feel like there's kind of an arc across all Periphery albums. So I was wondering, how's that process been like in terms of writing the songs? Are there any objectives or goals you guys set for each album, or even in retrospect right now? Do you feel like there's been special things that you guys wanted to achieve with each album, and thinking forward to Periphery 4?
Bueno, él le pregunta estrictamente por quizás como el arco, por así decirlo, el concepto que mantienen como los álbumes de Periphery, y pregunta si es puntualmente, es como una meta que ellos se propusieron en un principio, o quizás se fue dando.
So I think the main goal in the very beginning was including the rest of the band. And it was very difficult because it was just, in the very beginning, it was just me and Misha who were writing together. And I, and even back then on Periphery 1, I think I only had one song on that album, which was Race Car. So, yeah, like that one. I like that one too. That's another long song. But we knew that the other members were capable of writing, but it was a matter of figuring out what the chemistry was and how to bring them into the process. Eventually, personnel changed, and we got new members, and the chemistry and the ability to write together started to naturally fall into place. So what it taught us is that it's not necessarily that people who can write. There is a certain dynamic between all of us, and with Periphery 1, it really wasn't quite there with certain members. And when, especially when Mark joined, that was when the three of us really started working together. And then that was around Periphery 2. And then with Periphery, or with Juggernaut, we started all working together, all being in the room at the same time, arranging and putting songs together. And then with Periphery 3, it was almost effortless. Like we all worked together, we all arranged the songs together. I'd say that me, Mark, and Misha are the principal songwriters. We get the ideas going, but we also have Matt and Spencer come in to help us.
15 minutes.
15? Oh boy, I have a lot more too. I better start playing some songs.
Vamos a cortar un poco porque ya nos están quedando 15 minutos.
Yeah. All right, let's let them decide. Do you want me to play, or do you want me to answer questions?
I know.
All right, we'll do this by a show of hands.
Do
you want me to play music? Okay, all right. And do you want me to answer questions? I'm going to play some music. Okay, so that'll be the last question.
Do you want me to translate that last question?
I think they got it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna play one more song, and then I'll answer your question, and then I'm gonna play. If I have time, I'm gonna play more songs. I was supposed to play 6 songs tonight, so I've only done 3 so far.
La idea es que toque 6 canciones, solamente ha tocado 3.
Yeah, but you'll be the next question, okay? Make sure that he gets the microphone. Oh, you got it already. Cool. I've been doing this every clinic. I've done several clinics, and I just talk and I talk and I talk and I forget what time it is. I guess I'm having a really good time, so that's but before I play the song, I want to let you guys know that that Periphery is working on coming to Chile. And I love you too. But the band is aware that all of you are here tonight, and they're really stoked to visit. Like, they keep asking me, "What's it like? What's it like?" And Let's answer my man's question over here. What you got for me?
Se escucha, ¿cierto? ¿Me paro? Hola. Buena, Mauri. Ya. A ver, tengo una pregunta así como en parte de composición, pero por la parte rítmica, porque me importa más eso. Es como, ¿cómo nace la idea de hacer un tema, pero viéndolo como del punto de vista así como de temas como Flatline o Omega, que tienen como esta sección así como, que es como una carrera de notas así, que van conectando y conectando? ¿Cómo nace hacer eso sin sentir que te estés quedando como falta de idea o no saber qué hacer porque se te va a ir a la mierda?
Okay. There are some sections on some songs that it feels like kind of like you're like kind of like racing notes, you know, like chasing one after one. And how do you approach like those sections without like thinking that you are running out of ideas?
Oh, okay. So, I think I heard you mention Flatline and Omega. Is that right? Those two songs, Flatline and Omega, you mentioned. So there, with those long runs that sound that they sound very composed. It's because they're composed in very small sections. We have a library of moves and phrasing in our heads, and what we'll do is we'll take certain moves and phrasing and we'll play them over and over and over again, and then we'll play the next thing and we'll try to go to the next part, and usually it's a stream of consciousness thing. It's like something that we play by ear, and eventually we fumble around the fretboard enough to where we come up with a chain. It's like chaining moves together in a fighting game. You know what I mean? So yeah.
When you mention the library, you mean like a vocabulary that you handle?
Like a mental vocabulary of certain moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cuando componen como estas como secciones con tantas notas, por así decirlo, lo que hacen ellos es que van componiendo como trozo por trozo. Realmente ellos manejan un vocabulario que al final termina siendo como una librería de frases que todos manejamos como guitarristas. Y what's the last thing?
It's like chaining moves together
Right.
in like a fighting game.
Y al final cuando terminan como la sección entera se siente como si fueran creando una
If you look at one of those riffs, let's take Flatline for example. The intro riff is just 15 really tiny riffs ordered together. Like, and that's the way that I wrote it. Like I was just trying to figure out notes that were complementary, and it was trial and error. And the rest of us work kind of the same way too, because we don't have any formal music training. We use our ear and we just keep playing until we come up with a section that we like.
Bueno, como mencionaron recién, ellos no tienen como ningún tipo de estudios formales. Y en Flatline, por ejemplo, la intro terminaron siendo como 15 como pedacitos chicos que terminaron hilando y que crearon como esta intro.
I'm going to keep playing because I don't have much time left. Sometimes. So I only have time to play one more song. I can't answer any more questions. I'm sorry. I just want to make a quick note that this is Audiomusica's guitar. So if you want to buy this guitar, it is for sale. I'm just borrowing it for the day. But I figured I'd mention that. Yeah. So I want to thank Audiomusica again for putting this on. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And thank you for having me here. This has been a dream come true, and I can't wait to come back with Periphery.
Que se sienta mucho más fuerte el aplauso para Jake Bowen, tremendo músico, gran guitarrista, que nos ha entregado una tremenda clínica. Y la verdad creo que todos estamos emocionados. Yo sabía que esta va a tocar un tema más. Me dicen que va a tocar un tema más. Maravilloso. Así que el escenario estudio es cortito y luego la despedida. Yo sabía que no era fácil esto, pero el tiempo es oro y también Jake tiene compromisos, pero nos va a regalar un tema más con ustedes, Jake Bowen.
I should definitely tune again. That last song I was pulling down on the strings to make it detune. Oh, it's dangerous. It's real dangerous. Oh, it's perfectly in tune. What do you know? Good old Ibanez. Thank you.
Ahora sí, un gran aplauso para Jake Bowen, nuestro invitado de esta clínica a Ivanes. Queremos agradecer a todos ustedes que han estado con nosotros y han hecho posible esta clínica. También un gran aplauso para Joaquín Bustamante, que hizo un tremendo trabajo en la traducción. Y queremos pedirle a Jake gentilmente que autografíe esta guitarra. Please, Jake, can you be so gentle to sign this guitar?
¿Se pueden juntar un poco para que Jake saque una foto de todos ustedes?
Exactamente, vamos a sacar una foto, una selfie que Jake se va a llevar para mostrar, ¿cierto?, a Micha y a todos sus compañeros lo que está pasando en nuestro país y la pasión que ustedes sienten por Periphery. Anyway. Muchachos, tienen que estar atentos a nuestras redes sociales. Como les digo, octubre va a ser el mes de Ivanes. Vamos a estar celebrando el lanzamiento de Ivanes 2.0 Contraataque. Así que atentos, vamos a celebrar. Va a ser el mes de las cuerdas, de las guitarras, de los grandes intérpretes nacionales. Por ahí vi a Alejandro Silva. Ahí está Alejandro Grande. Él es parte de Ivanes Army Contraataca junto con otros grandes. Así que atentos a nuestras redes sociales. Vamos a sacar la foto. We're going to take the picture with all the crew.
I just want to take a picture with all of you. So it's going to be hard to get everybody in the picture, so we need to squeeze in as much as possible. Yeah.
Muchas gracias, chiquillos. Gracias, comunidad de Audiomusica, por estar con nosotros, por apoyarnos. Les recuerdo que estén atentos a nuestras redes sociales. Octubre es el mes de Ivanes Guitars y vamos a lanzar el Ivanes 2.0 Contraataque. ¿Ok? Fuerte el aplauso a Jake. Thank you very much, Jake. Great clinic. Gracias a todos ustedes y atentos que estaremos muy pronto dando más coordenadas. Entren a nuestra cartelera.audiomusica.com, ahí están todos los workshops, también todas las sesiones que tenemos en Megatienda. Apoyen la música chilena también, hay grandes intérpretes, así que los esperamos en Megatienda. Ahí es gratuito, así que nada, y que nunca les falte rock and roll. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros y muy buenas noches.